All right, welcome everyone to the iNRS Racing Series here on Thursday nights. Tonight, we are at Daytona for the Coke Zero Sugar 200 here with just two races tonight and next week away from the playoff cut. It has gotten pretty tight. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM broadcast. I'm Rick Souza here with my co-broadcaster, John DeRudris. And John, this is going to be exciting.
It is, and a lot of people would consider this race a wild card race, and let me tell you, it definitely is. You may see a driver outside of the points battle that can get in with a win. So this race is going to be crazy. It's a little bit of a preview of what we're going to see here tomorrow night, as well as on Saturday with the Xfinity and the NASCAR Cup Series. So it's going to be a fun race. It's going to be 80 laps of insane action here, and let me tell you, these super speedways in the iNRS series are always a good time. And while we're talking about a good time, let's talk about some drivers who are having a good time in the point standings. Number one is Jordan Booth. He is your point leader. But now we have a change. In second place, actually, is Corey Bunch, followed by Jordan Winslow in third place in the standings, Vernon Brodbeck in fourth, Alex Murphy in fifth, Tyler Lemon sixth, Michael Whitley in seventh, Alex Forget Berube in 8th, Eric Jeffers in 9th, and Jacob Musso in 10th. And looking at the previous winner at Daytona, it was Corey Bunch. So we'll see what he's able to do tonight as we make our way down to about just 4.5 minutes left of practice. And let me tell you, you need your practice here tonight. And I'll talk about that in my keys. But Rick, let's talk about the point battles. What's going on in the point standings right now?
So a lot of battles to kind of keep an eye on as we enter the final two races of the regular season. Jordan Booth has officially locked up the regular season championship. So this shifts our eyes to the battle for second between Bunch and Wenzel, where they're currently tied in the standings. But Bunch has been on a tear, and Wenzel has been kind of on the struggle bus. So who will come out on top this week? Obviously, we just talked about Corey Bunch being the previous winner here. Murphy and Brodbeck sit 11 points apart in the battle for fourth. And Forget, Whitley, and Jeffers sit 24 points apart in the battle for seventh. Brendan Hayes sits 4 points behind Jacob Musso for the final spot in the top 10 as well. So looking at the cut line, 27 points are separating Matt Robinson in 16th and Vince Burns and Joseph Musso in 17th and 18th. So this is a really interesting battle to watch over the next 2 weeks because the question is, do Burns and Musso go for wins or are they just points racing? We shall see.
We shall see. And looking right now at the top three in the team standings, you have Full Throttle Motorsports in P1, 40XLI in P2, and Roadrunner P3, the three best teams this season for sure. And current drivers locked into the playoffs. Let's talk about them. Jordan Winslow, Simon Madgen, Jordan Booth, Corey Bunch, Tyler Lem, Martin Giroux, Alex Forget Berube, Brendan Hayes, Vernon Brodbeck, Alex Murphy, and Michael Whitley. So looking at that, those are the drivers who have won a race. And let's talk about some drivers who are also doing pretty well. So with an 8th place finish at Michigan, Corey Bunch tallied up his 13th top 10 in a row. He has not seen a finish outside of the top 10 since Talladega. So could this be a kryptonite race for Corey Bunch? He is the reigning winner of this race, though, but that doesn't mean that he cannot repeat and does not appear to be slowing down at all. A driver who is and was on a 3-race skid has found itself back in the conversation of a championship contender. With 3 top 10s in a row and with 1 win, Alex Forget seems to be gaining a lot of traction to make a playoff push in this series, so watch out for the 19. A driver that was once on the cut line, Tony Japs, has rattled off 3 out of 4 finishes inside the top 15 to distance himself from the cut line, which is very important. So watch out for Tony tonight there in this race. He has been one of the best ones over the last couple weeks, so we'll see what that looks like as you see the best of the rest coming through. 2 wildcard tracks really will test the ability of these drivers and for him to maintain that cushion into the final 2 weeks. But Rick, let's talk about the flip side of this coin. Who's not been too hot recently?
Well, back on that list, we've got to put Michael Whitley. While his 94 car sat on the pole at Michigan, 2 wrecks would relegate him to a 17th place finish. And now with only 1 top 10 and 4 starts, it seems that 94 is kind of on the wrong side of the luck train. Another driver riding a bit of a skid is Ty Bostic. While Bostic is sitting inside the playoffs, with a decent cushion, he has had 4 straight finishes outside the top 10. If the driver of the 22 wants to make a deep playoff push, he's going to have to get this train pointed in the right direction. Funny though, we talked to Ty Bostic last night, about this, and if you talk to Ty, these types of tracks, they are not his favorite. So let's see if he can do something differently here, or if he continues on his merry way. So another, also, I guess finally our biggest surprise, who's not really right now, is Jordan Wenzel with 2 weeks of outside the top 10 finishes. It seems the 81 has kind of stumbled at the wrong time. A driver, once competing toe-to-toe with Booth, has now kind of find himself potentially losing second to Bunch. So, is it now that the Jordan and the Corey Bunch show? I don't know. It was the Jordan and Jordan show. Or, will Wenzel reclaim his crown and at number 2? We'll just have to see.
Yep, we'll have to see for sure. And talking about what we'll see tonight, let's talk about some drivers who have excelled at this style of racing. Plate racing in the next gen is very difficult compared to other oval cars. It's always hard to get a feel for who's good and who's not. But the 2 drivers in the 40XLI camp have shown that they know how to get it done. If they can stay out of trouble, Rick, and look for the, they can be up the front. Look out for those purple dinosaurs to really be in contention. They'll be out there.
We've got some news, John. I don't think Brennan Hayes is going to make it. Prayers to his mom. There may be some issues there, so he may not be on for personal reasons. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, hate to hear that. Hopefully everything is okay in that camp, and prayers out his way. So we'll at least have one purple dinosaur out there. Expect him to be in the front. And let's just see what happens this week. No rivalries at the moment, but Rick, Daytona, last lap, rivalries will be formed. Even on maybe lap 5. You never know. If you get turned at Daytona early in the race, you may not like it very much unless your name's Ty Bostic. But no, don't wish that on Ty. All good fun there. Right now we have qualifying just taking place right now, and you're noticing, speaking of Ty, there he is, you're seeing these cars all the way at the top of the track, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a great run out of turn 4, carry the momentum all the way to the front stretch. That way they can get a blistering fast lap to start up front here in the Coke Zero Sugar 200, presented by the iNRS series and brought to you by the IWM Broadcast Network. Rick, it's going to be, a 200-mile-per-hour traffic jam out there. And let me tell you, these guys are not afraid to run 3 wide.
No, absolutely not. And we've seen this is one of those tracks, unlike Talladega, where three perfectly fit all the way around. Daytona gets a little narrow in spots, and you can really put yourself in some trouble pretty easily.
You absolutely can. And so we'll see how this race unfolds and see where these drivers are. Qualifying means a little bit, but it doesn't mean everything. So we'll see what happens. But Rick, let's talk about, qualifying, since we're in qualifying right now. Where would you want to be? Because there are drivers who'd like to be in the front. There are some drivers who'd like to be in the back. Nobody likes to be in the middle. So if you had to choose to start this race, where would you like to be?
Yeah, so top 10 for sure. I don't have a problem running in a pack. I kind of enjoy it. So others will bail out, especially if it gets too aggressive too quick. That's always your biggest fear here at Talladega or Daytona. It's always the big one that we talk about, and that's really just a mistake that's made that ends up collecting a lot of drivers. And with no quick repair, you're in trouble. That could end your night, and it could end the night for a lot of different drivers. So you've got to drive a little bit conservatively. You've got to put yourself in a good spot. If you're comfortable pack racing and you trust the people around you, then you're good to go. The challenge is that you wind up with a driver who's a little bit aggressive, who thinks that he sees a spot that isn't there. That's when trouble starts.
Absolutely.
I'm really surprised I haven't seen a time that's broke the 50 mark. I was hoping that there would be at least one.
Yeah, I mean, they're close, but I haven't seen one either, Rick. That's kind of slightly uncharacteristic.
Yep, yep. I was turning laps at this track earlier today, and yeah, um, 49.9 I saw on a regular basis. So surprised that we haven't seen that yet. But still, those are all good times. And look, Michael Whitley up there, currently right there. Oh, look at that tie right now. Tie at the top between Michael Whitley and Jordan Booth at the 50.13 mark.
I was about to say, so you're saying you could out qualify all these drivers here tonight. That's what I'm hearing from you
Well,
on your side, Rick.
not from the booth. That's for darn sure.
Oh well, you know what? Maybe they'll throw you in one race. Maybe we could have a friendly competition with you up there battling
There
and
you go.
calling the
Yep.
race at one time. We'll see.
Sure.
Right now, it looks like we have qualifying with just about 30 seconds left here, so we'll see who's at the top. That looks like the Intimidator right there, Rick.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. That's Ron Fitting in the number 3. That's pretty close to Dale Earnhardt's paint scheme. He may need to pay a royalty for that one. I
maybe
think
a little bit.
Alex Forget Barubi is still on track, and he's got 15 seconds.
It's going to be a close one.
He's already put a time up. He is sitting in 5th. Okay, he's just finishing up. That's perfect. So
Perfect. All righty. Well, you're about to see the action unfold from Daytona. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a 5-minute little brief drivers meeting. But while we have that drivers meeting, let's talk about some of the track facts for tonight's Coke Zero Sugar 200. So obviously, the Coke Zero Sugar 200, that means it's going to be 80 laps, a stage break at lap 26, one quick repair, 5 sets of tires.
That's not the case. We do not have a quick repair.
Oh, never mind. Excuse me.
Yeah.
No quick repairs. It happens every week. I say it again. 5 sets of tires, 60% fuel, and 3 green-white checkers here at Daytona. Track temp of 108 degrees. I don't think that's going to matter too much. These guys are going to be battling for every position. But 60% fuel, that tells me that these drivers can go probably about 22 laps. So 22 laps on a tank is my estimate, maybe somewhere, depending if you're in the draft or not, between 19 and 22. So obviously, that's a big factor here is the draft. And looking at starting order.
If you're out front, you're going to burn a whole lot more fuel than someone coasting behind you in that train.
For sure. You absolutely will.
All right, so let's that's kind of down about 3.5 minutes before we grid up. So let's maybe cover some of your keys to tonight's event.
Let's do it. So it's Daytona. It's a huge wild card. And when it comes to a wild card race, the first thing that you have to do, you have to survive. If you don't survive the race, Rick, you will not be able to make it to the end. And so survival is number 1. Number 2 is teamwork. You have to have teammates out there. Now, sometimes your teammates are not able to show up, unfortunately, for some specific reasons. But either way, you have to make friends out there, whether they are your same manufacturer team or not. You have to be able to have friends to win this race. So teamwork, number 2. And then also a key that had not really talked about too much when we cover super speedway racing, but one that I think needs to be touched on here tonight is setting up something that I call the pass. So the pass is going to be the last lap pass, and it's always a discussion. Is it too early? Is it too late? And we've seen oftentimes where drivers make passes going into turn 3, now coming out of turn 1, going into turn 2. Some drivers do it a lap before. And so it's all about setting up this pass. And with this package, with the aero package and the downforce, you're able to create very, very fast runs behind, if you're the car behind the leader. And so making the pass at the right time is key. Now, let me tell you, if there is a pass for the lead on the last lap coming out of turn 2, whoever made that pass, unless there's a caution, will not win that race. The reason why is because you have to set up this pass either basically gaining momentum coming out of turn 2, and you want to do this basically almost going into 3, and even really coming out of 4 without any side draft. So if you can clear a car, start to pass them in the corner, going into 3, setting up quote unquote the pass, and make the pass out of 4, you should have plenty of time. The driver next to you shouldn't be able to side draft you at all. and you should be able to win this race. But a lot of times, Rick, you see drivers make the move and the pass way too early. And so survival, teamwork, and setting up the pass correctly going into turn 3, I think is going to be the 3 keys for tonight's race because, strategy, if we go green, is definitely a factor. But again, it's super speedway racing. There's 2 weeks left in the regular season. I would not count out a caution with 10, 15 to go where everybody's going to be good on fuel, and it's going to be a battle to the end.
Yeah, absolutely not. So we'll see how it goes. It should be an exciting night here in Daytona for the Coke Zero Sugar 200, brought to you by the IWM Broadcast Network on behalf of the iNRS Racing Series. So with 1 minute before we go to the grid, we're going to take you to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Athletic Training Solutions specializes in on-site health and wellness programs for industrial athletes. We focus on the treatment and management of work-related injury and illness, as well as employee health and wellness. As one of the leading providers of occupational health services, we serve businesses of all sizes and types. Our experienced, certified athletic trainers work with each client organization to minimize employee disability, promote employee health and wellness, and help to control healthcare costs. We work with a network of doctors that are trained with an understanding of OSHA recordables and the first aid treatment approach to help keep your employees at work.
All right, our warm-up has ended. These drivers will be about to grid up momentarily. Thanks for tuning in tonight's race here on the IWM Broadcast Network.
Rick, let me ask you this before we get the grid. Where would you like to make the pass? Would you agree with my strategy on going into turn 3, or where would you make the pass to win this race?
Oh, I think you're 110% right on. So you've got to be right there. Again, as you said, so many people go too early and they wind up getting boxed out and slipping back. So, yeah,
absolutely.
Not surprised. So no, you gotta time it, and this this can't be your first attempt at this. Hopefully, you've done this once before. So,
for sure. Well, let's bring up the starting lineup for tonight's Coke Zero Sugar 200, presented by the iNASCAR Racing Series, brought to you by the IWM Broadcast Network. On pole, a dead tie with Jordan Booth. Michael Whitley Jr. starting on pole with Jordan Booth in second. Garrett Walden starting in third. Mike Wheel starting in fourth. Alex Forget-Berube starting in fifth, with Clark France starting in sixth. Martin Giroux starting in seventh. Eddie Musso Jr. starting in eighth. Eric Jeffers starting in ninth. And rounding out your top 10 is Austin Walton.
In 11th, Simon Magin. In 12th, Corey Bunch. In 13th, you've got Tyler Sexton. And to his outside, you've got Scott Thomas in the 79. John Krupa is in 15th. Richard Mills is in 16th. Dan Hughes in 17th. Corey Innocent 18th. Vince Burns in 19th. And Ty Bostic finds himself in 20th.
In 21st, you have the 3-car of Ron Fitting with Martin Pinnell starting in 22nd. Vernon Broadbeck starting in 23rd. And Joe Musso starting in the 24th spot. In 25th, you have Jordan Wenzel, 26th, Alex Murphy, Tony Japs starting in 27th, Jacob Musso starting in 28th, Tyler Lem starting in 29th, and Josh Douglas is not in the race. He accidentally queued up, so Tyler Lem will be the last car on this order. Now look at this, Rick. A tenth of a second separates first and last.
That's
How crazy is that?
That is crazy. So the sun is setting here in Daytona, which means this will be a race under the lights here as this race gets underway.
Oh boy, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Daytona at night is absolutely the best.
One track I want to go to is Daytona at night. Specifically, the race that's coming up on Saturday. It's one of the spectacles. I think it sounds kind of backwards, but I think you may even have more intensity, specifically in this race, because of how the schedule is played out with Darlington. A lot of drivers don't win Darlington, so they're almost putting every egg that they have and then some into this race to potentially win. So we'll see who's able to win tonight. I mean, looking at the top, Mike Wheel, a win would lock him in. Clark Franz, a win would lock him in. Eddie Musso Jr., a win, locks him in. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. And Darlington, that's a skill. That's a driver who's got some great car skills, great brake skills. It's just not a give me kind of track. So, all right.
Not at all.
Drivers are coming out of the Geico Restart Zone. We are live here at Daytona, underway.
Green flag in the air as the field powers their way down into turn one on the inside line of that orange and blue Mustang. It's the 94 of Michael Whitley to the outside of the purple and black Mustang. That is the 41 of Jordan Booth. Cars stacked up side by side as the sun sets here in sunny Daytona Beach, Florida. Working the way down the backstretch. And this is when you're going to start to see these pushes start to get very, very intense. And Rick, we've seen pushes go wrong. Real life and here on iRacing, there's no difference. You have to line it up. If not, you're going to wreck. And some people say that they can push in the corners. If they say that, I don't know if I can trust that person. But it's always treacherous. But lap one complete, and Michael Whitley Jr. leads the first lap, which means he's going to get another bonus point going into his championship fight here as the field getting up to power. So that last lap, Rick, was a 55.8. I can guarantee you this next lap is probably going to be somewhere in the 48.7 is my guess.
Unfortunately, that outside line has kind of stalled a bit as drivers are bouncing between the low line and the high line, trying to figure out where they need to be. Unfortunately, that has really impacted. Now, that doesn't matter much. That outside line can get a run going and come right back up. But right now, Jordan Booth has kind of bailed on leading that outside line, and he just decided, okay, I'm just going to get in line here and figure this out.
Alrighty. Lap 2 complete, and the lap time at the line was a 46.9. I was off by about 2 seconds there, but that's almost a 10-second pickup from lap 1 to lap 2, as we are now single file basically throughout this entire 29 car field. As we see the outside line starting to break out a little bit, leading that outside line, I believe, is a 17 of Austin Walton. So we'll see if he can break free.
They're doing a really good job of trying to put something together there. That's the 26 of Eddie Musso Jr. out front. If they could get just one more car willing to jump up either in front or behind, they could really have something for this lead pack.
They can. Well, something happened in the mid-pack there, because that pack is completely separated by almost a full second now between the 15th position and the 16th position. So I'm not sure what is going on in that second pack, but they are definitely taking their time. As you see the 19 drop out, the 19 was like, you know what, guys, y'all can have your fun. I am dropping to the back of this pack.
Not surprised. Not surprised.
So here comes to the outside. That is the 26 of Eddie Musso Jr. getting pushed by the 17 of Austin Walton. That 3-car pack up there is going to go to the lead. And your new leader, Eddie Musso Jr., as we have the 17 and the 77 there.
Luckily, a few others have reached up, and now we're leapfrogging. That's the typical thing here. Get a good push and then drop in front.
Yep, it is very typical here to do that at the Daytona. As we see some drivers in the back, that is Vernon Broadbeck there, as well as the 29 of John Krupa trying to make their way up. They will in that high line.
That's Corey Bunch and the 46 of Simon Magin, who basically just really gave a great push and moved all three of those cars, Bunch, Magin, and Sexton, up to the front.
Six laps complete here tonight, almost 10% of the way done. Rick, can you believe that? Almost 10% of the way.
Pretty amazing.
And we are almost single file throughout the whole pack. The only car that's on the outside line right now is Vernon Broadbeck in that 10. He's trying to make his way down, but here at Daytona, it's very common to get caught up in that outside line, and nobody wants to be your friend, and nobody wants to let you in. As you're about to see right now, that 10 car can still not make his way down to the bottom. We did have a car break out to the top. That is the 17 car, Austin Walton.
Yeah, he's going to experience, unfortunately, the same fate unless he can get some help up there The 10 is basically dropped in line in 10th place, but the 17 is all by his lonesome up there, and then he finds a spot. So we're now single file in this front pack. Let's kind of bring up where we are overall here. With 29 cars on the track, we are all spread out and all in single file.
We are, and people like this kind of racing, but some people don't. And when we get single file like this, it's one long line of just follow the leader. And right now, that leader is Corey Bunch, followed by Simon Madgen, Tyler Sexton, Eddie Musso Jr., Michael Whitley Jr., John Krupa, Garrett Walden, Martin Giroux, Austin Walden, and Vernon Brodbeck. Now, we do have some action kind of forming mid-pack. You see that outside line starting to make some hay there. That is Tony Japs in the 42, I believe, trying to make his way up to the front with Alex Murphy as well. So here comes some cars, as well as the 5 of Richard Mills, Ron Fitting.
Yeah, Alex Murphy's out there up front. He is the wedge, trying to work his way up, and he's got plenty of help back there. Those guys should be able to make a good run. That outside is always the fastest way around this track.
It definitely is, and we'll see how this field starts to fan out. But right now, we have a lot of cars formed up. And Rick, let's really quick look at the 5 car and the 3 car front to back. It's a pretty cool paint scheme duo that they have going on. If we can go on maybe a far chase view of what we see, but to me it looks like a Dale Senior scheme pushing a Dale Junior scheme, and I know people would love to see that at the front, which we're about to see right now.
Yep, there you go.
Cue the 2001 Coke 400, where Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the race. Yeah, look at that sight right there. That'll bring a tear to your eye.
Yep.
Pretty cool what you can do with paint schemes here, but out front, Richard Mills, Ron Fitting, both drivers who need wins. So we'll see if they're able to keep their way at the front, but they are looking mighty fine up there as we are now approaching lap 10 of 80 complete.
Solid run by the 5 and the 3 to move themselves up into position. Again, that outside line as you're setting up the pass, that's where you need to go.
It's where you need to go because that's the line that works. And so Grease Monkey Motorsports definitely understands that. They're trying to get their other teammate Tyler Sexton up there as well.
Comment on YouTube from Matt Swope. What? Who wouldn't like super speedway racing? I referred him to Ty Bostic.
I was about to say we could name drop, but you already did it. So, Ty, shout out to you and Matt. Y'all can have a chat about that one.
Yep.
Speaking of Ty Bostic, he's all the way back in 21st. But again, we're 11 laps into a 80-lap event here. And another throwback scheme, but in a high line, you have Dan Hughes rocking an old Mark Martin paint scheme. Old Valvoline Mark Martin paint scheme. So, a bunch of throwback schemes here this weekend. Or I guess it's not the weekend, but tonight at Daytona.
Yeah, a lot of things happening on the tube tonight. But I can think of no better place to be than watching the IWM broadcast stream of the iNRS Racing Series. It's much
been
more
good
fun.
so far. Absolutely, 100%.
No crazy politicians or anything else that may be on TV. This is where the fun is.
This is where every eyeball in America should be right now.
Absolutely. All right, so Richard Mills continues to lead in that Budweiser number 5. He's got the 3 of Ron Fitting right there on his bumper. Alex Murphy in the 30 is right there as well. But on the outside, again, you've got Dan Hughes in that Valvoline 6. And behind Dan, That's the 42 of Tony Japs.
No, I think it was 35 of Tyler Sexton.
Tyler Sexton, the 35.
Yep.
Tony is below.
Looking at right now how this race has unfolded. Oh, we have some shaking up. I saw it might have been a blink.
It was a blink.
I saw some, I saw some cars fly through the field. I was like, uh-oh. But looking at your top 6 right now, Rick, plus 15 for Richard Mills, plus 19 Ron Fitting, plus 14 Dan Hughes, plus 22 Alex Murphy, plus 8 for Tyler Sexton, plus 21 for Tony Japs. You're looking at almost 80 positions gained right there.
Right. Look at the opposite end. You had Mike Wheel, who started up at the front, and now he's down 16 spots, 15 spots at this point, unfortunately. Alex Foger-Berube, he started up at the front, top 5. Now he's sitting back in 17th. So a lot of drivers, and I say that, but we've watched Alex all the time work his way back, get out of the front, and then at the end, he's right there in contention. Now, I'm not sure who's blinking. I'm trying to watch. I think it's John Krupa in the 29.
Yeah, I was about to say, I see his name pop up, or I guess fall down and then pop up again. So.
Yep.
That makes
So
a
he's
lot
in
of
the Bucky's Chevrolet right there. Oh, he's hidden behind that graphic. Let's just hide that graphic. So right there, that 29 is, unfortunately, you may see him appear and disappear. You may hear us refer to that as a blink. If you're unfamiliar with that, that's basically his computer connection. Since this is a simulation, his computer connection has experienced a problem. And the way that the server represents that is he may disappear and reappear.
Absolutely.
So action on the outside there. That's the 12, I think, and the 81.
Yeah, they're done playing games. They're like, you know what? We're going to go to the front. Y'all can just sit here and ride along, but we're going to make our way up to the front of this pack, and I bet you they will be at the front of this pack probably by lap 18 if they can stay nose to tail like they have been.
Yeah, we're definitely coming up to some pit stops soon. Do you have one? Jacob Musso is on pit road. It looks like he is the early taker just for fuel, and you'll see that we've got a stage break in 10 laps. So, and you can't make it without stopping for fuel. The problem is if you stop for fuel by yourself, it could be an ugly ride, and you could get easily overrun. You've got to pit in partners.
You definitely have to pit in partners, and it's a risky move. There was nobody else down there, so I'm kind of confused. But I mean, maybe it'll work out. I really don't know, Rick. I'm kind of at a loss for words on why you would do that, because now you're at risk of going a lap down.
Well, this field is about to run him over. He's gonna.
Yeah.
Now the challenge is that they are too wide and about to approach a car who is not up to speed.
Yep.
And he's gonna be looking for a place to hide, as this field is gonna run him over.
Rick, you know what I said about 2 laps ago? Who'd be at the front of the pack at lap 18? 12 and the 81. They're up there. They're up at the pack, pushing hard, and you're about to see some chaos unfold because you have 2 wide from 3rd on back. So that 12 and 81 should drop down, and here comes the field around the 25.
25
so far,
is
so
just
good.
He's just up there.
So far, so good.
Good bit of drivers caught him on the backstretch. He can duck in if he can and try and pick up the draft a bit. If he waits too long, well, he got some help.
We got 3 wide, though, in front of him, Rick.
Yep. Yeah, we do.
We got 3 wide. I think it's Simon Madgen up there on the top line, and we got the 5 car of Richard Mills there in the bottom, and in the middle, I believe, that is the... I think that
42.
Is 42.
Tony Japs. Yep.
So we'll see. And this is when you might expect to get things get a little hairy. Now, I expect there. Whoa, that 42 is going all over the place.
Yeah, he was super
Trying to
loose or out of shape.
Still loose, still out of shape, trying to figure out his line. He gets down to the bottom, and he's all good. We're approaching lap 20, so I expect pit stops to happen sometime fairly soon. I see the field starting to make their way single file, which typically indicates drivers are going to make their way down. Are we going to see anybody drop off this time? No, not yet. So we'll see what happens.
They're in a super challenging time. You've got, again, that stage break coming up with just 6 laps to go. So, and everybody, with the exception of the 25, has to stop.
Exactly. I mean, okay, let's talk about this really quick. The 25 car, theoretically, he could assume the lead if there is splits in pitch strategy.
Yeah, I'm afraid that since he was so far off the pace coming back and got overrun by the field, he's put himself in a difficult. If he had gone in with somebody else and came back out faster, he would have been a much better shot. I think I agree. He's kind of caught himself now since the field has already gone by. They've passed him, and now he is all the way back, pretty far at the tail end of the pack now. So we'll see.
Well, Rick, one thing I can tell you is this race is going to get pretty interesting. I see names popping up on the board. I expect pit stops this time by, I thought it'd be lap 22. Let's see if anybody comes down pit road. No takers yet. Okay, well, maybe it's coming to lap 23 then.
The other challenge there, John, is that as they come around, it depends on how many drivers. If the entire field comes in at the same time, it is going to be just mad chaos on pit road.
Well, Rick, let me tell you what's happening right now. The 46 and the 6 are full throttle. The 12 is saving. Go to the 12 on board. The 12 is saving fuel. Majorly saving fuel. Look at the 25 go by on the outside. Look at these cars come by. He is not full throttle at all. They're going about 180 miles an hour. That's Michael Whitley right now. They may be trying to save all the way to the end of this race, the end of the stage.
That's very interesting.
176 for Michael Whitley and Eric Jeffers. 25 is now up front, technically got his lap back.
Yeah, they're just kind of slightly off the pace and just kind of cruising.
They are 3 seconds off their fastest lap, Rick. 3 seconds.
So have they found a way to get around and do 26 laps on this tank of fuel?
Well, let me tell you, the Cup Series guys did it. NASCAR wasn't too happy about it, but they figured out a way to do it. They slowed down the pace. I mean, right now, they're going only about 180 mile per hour into the corner. I mean, they are not going fast as these cars can go.
Look at the RPMs down to 7,700. Nope,
oh,
he's going
here we
in.
go. Here we go. Any lockups? Anybody going to hit the brakes too soon? No, I'll be looking for penalties, but here comes the field down pit road.
9 drivers have made it in.
Oh, boy. This could be a big mistake for everybody who stayed out. You want to know why? Pit road closes at the line.
Look at the 81 drove through. He did not stop.
Why? Oh, this is going to be interesting, Rick. Are they going to close pit road before these guys can hit? Because if even one guy stays out, Rick, it'll be closed with 2 to go at the line. And if you come down pit road when it's closed, you will get a penalty.
And people may run out of fuel.
Well, they're staying out. They are staying out.
Let's go on board with Simon, with Martin Giroux. He's up front.
Pit road is closed. Pit road has been closed. They are going to the end of this thing. The end of lap 26.
Your leader is flat out. He is not saving any fuel.
The leader, Martin Giroux, right now is 185. Rick, this may throw a little bit of a wrench in everything because they are going well beyond what I expect the fuel run to be. So they're battling like it's going to be the end of the stage right now, but isn't it the end of lap 26?
It is. They got they got one more full lap to go.
All right, here we go. Technically the white flag for the stage. The 96 of Mike Wheel is getting pushed by the 41 of Jordan Booth. Martin Giroux and Garrett Walden are right there. Tyler Lim as well make up your top 5 battling for this stage 1 victory and stage points. The 96 is getting pushed by the 41 again.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Mike Wheel, Jordan Booth, and Garrett Walden are all in the 40 XLI. So Jordan's got himself some friends, and obviously right there, pushing that 96 to the lead.
But here we go. He left him out to dry, the 96. Oh, hold on. Jordan Booth to the front. Can he win the stage? He does win the stage. And Rick, I bet you everybody in this pack is coasting.
Yeah, I don't doubt. Yeah,
they are clutched. They are clutched in right now.
We'll drop inside the. You can hear that. We're inside the 41 of Jordan Booth.
I would love to see what his fuel numbers are at.
I think it's skipping. We'll see. Well, still under good power. He's coasting. There cannot be much left in the tank.
Not at all.
Is pit road still closed?
Yep, and there's some drivers that have to come down pit road right now. Tyler Lem, Simon Madgen make their way down pit road.
Is Jordan Booth out of fuel?
41 out of fuel. 41 is out of fuel. Oh, no. Simon Madgen, Austin Walton, Tyler Lim, Ty Bostic, Michael Whitley Jr., Alex Murphy, all on pit road. Black flag for Austin Walton. Jordan Wenzel apparently was just given an EOL. Same thing with the 42. Tony Japp's given an EOL. Rick, this could change everything.
Yeah, he is barely hanging on here. He's got a little juice in the tank, but not much. We're listening here, waiting to hear that engine skip. He is now midway down the backstretch, approaching turn 3. There's going to be a lot of prayers happening on board that 41 right now.
I think he can make it. I'm confident in that car and in Jordan's ability to save.
He may need a little bump if he has to.
Well, you can make it about 26 laps. But no more than that. All right, here we go. Everybody on pit road.
They're leisurely cruising in right now, trying to get to their pit stalls.
Yes, they are. Great job by the field to save that much. That was pretty great.
Yep, absolutely.
Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Now, we do have some cars that will cycle to the front. Simon Madgen, pit on lap 27. Austin Walton, lap 27.
I think with all that craziness, the 25 may find himself in some good shape.
Possibly, but we have 3 black flags. Austin Walton, Ty Bostic, and Alex Murphy. Oh, no. Not good at all for those 3 drivers.
Number of drivers did full fuel and tires, while others just took right sides and others fuel only. All right. Lap 29 is in the books as these drivers have made it through to the stage break, with Jordan Booth winning the stage break here at lap 27, really. These guys are trying to catch back up to the pace car. Jordan Wenzel, Scott Thomas, and Tony Japs coming off pit road. So the field is on track. We'll just try to get a feel for where people will line up. Jacob Musso is back down. I think he was going to be at the tail end of the lead lap, so you might as well go back down and top off that fuel tank, or else you'll put yourself in disadvantage with everybody else.
Exactly.
All right, the lights are off on top of our pace car, which means we'll be going back next time by. That may be a challenge for the 25 and number of drivers who are still on pit road right now to get caught back up. I'm wondering if the admin will extend the caution.
Not sure.
Well, we'll see. The field is just getting onto the backstretch. That may be enough time for everybody to come off the pit road and pick them back up.
Potentially.
Looks like Jacob Musso is still showing a lap down. Well, up at the front, you've got Jordan Booth, who's taking the inside line. He's got Martin Giroux to his outside, Garrett Walden, and Mike Wheel. That's really really all the guys working together. Those three, Booth, Wheel, and Walden, are all together. And Jordan definitely needed some help there with the absence of Brendan Mays.
For sure.
Rather, yeah.
All right, here we go. Pace car is about to make its way down. Flagman has the flag in his hand. They're in a Geico restart zone. Green flag back out here at Daytona as they make their way across the start-finish line and power their way down into turn one.
Some new names up front. You got Vince Burns in the 55. You got Martin Giroux up there. Clark Francis up there. Vernon Broadbeck. Mike Wheel back up to 7th, 8th. Martin Pinnell in 10th. Outside line staying pretty solid. Just a good gap, though, between the 50 of Martin Giroux. But he can close that gap and pick up that group of drivers behind him. He's got the 96 of Mike Wheel.
Oh, and we got some tight racing forming. The 55 trying to side draft the 50 up at the top line.
A little bit out of shape in that high line a bit. That kind of will make for a messy. Lots of slipping and sliding as these lines. Here we are, too wide, continuing this approach. Just saw the 50 of Martin Giroux drop down to low line, leaving the 96 of Mike Wheel out there on the top side with the 20 of Martin Pinnell behind him. Jacob Musso is the only car a lap down right now, but next caution that occurs. Oh, the 96 of Wheel just kind of found the spot and stuck himself in it.
Rick, let me tell you something. These guys are racing like it's the last lap. There are moves being made all over the place. You have Martin Pinnell and Tyler Sexton now up at the front.
How about those guys that had to serve that penalty? When are they? They've got to come down soon.
Yeah, I mean the penalty. Now, I see black flags cleared for all.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
never mind.
Your guess is as good as mine. I do not know. One thing I do know is we have the field kind of just spread out all over the place. You have a big break in the top line, but charging that top line is the 79 of Scott Thomas and the 19 of Alex Forget-Berube, trying to make their way up to the front of this pack, 5 laps away from halfway. Now, Rick, we know what happens when you push in the corner.
Yep, I will say, though, if you wanted somebody to push you, Alex Forget-Berube is the guy to do it. We saw him do this before. He is good in that pusher position there. And I think the biggest challenge is if you've got a lot of experience being pushed by someone who knows how to push through the corner, that's good. But if you don't, that's bad, because it definitely unsettles the car a little bit, and you've got to be able to react in the simplest and most gentlest way. It's the only way I can describe it, because you can easily make a mistake and get yourself out of shape.
Absolutely.
Scott Thomas now finds himself out in front here at Daytona. Again, that outside line can really vault yourself up. You now see Ty Bostic in the 4th position there. Man, if I was Ty, I probably would jump up to that high line and get in front and leverage that position.
Absolutely, I would. Take advantage of it while you can.
So Thomas, Berube, Pinnell, Tyler Sexton, Bostic, all running nose to tail. That 35 of Tyler Sexton. Again, it's too late now for the 22, but I would have definitely taken advantage of that train that was coming up on the outside.
For sure I would. Absolutely. Everybody's basically single file except for the 35, the 5, and the 3. So I guess the 3-5 and the 5-3. A lot of numbers. As we see, big block being made. 3 wide now. Uh-oh. Hold on to her, folks.
Yeah, Scott Thomas came up and tried to stall the high line. That did not pay off with a 79. It kind of may have put him in an awkward position. Now he's going to join the tail end of that high line, and now he's by himself, almost left out, finds a gap to drop down, while Tyler Sexton takes over the lead here at Daytona on lap 38.
That could have been very, very bad.
Yeah.
Very bad. But, they made it through. And we are 1 lap away from halfway here at Daytona. Thank you all for tuning into the IWM Broadcast Network of tonight's Coke Zero Sugar 200 with the iNRS Series. I'm John. Partner
Rick.
in crime is Rick. And we appreciate you all for tuning in. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any action here in the iNRS Series, as well as the Tech for Troop Cup Series. We just started Season 5. Had a race last night at Dover, race number 2, and don't miss any action here Wednesday, Thursday night. Subscribe, and also hit the like button. I heard the YouTube algorithm likes that one. just a little bit. But
All
either
right.
way,
Halfway point here at Daytona. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You won't miss a thing. We'll run it side by side, and we thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network.
Our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. Our focus is providing the highest level of service to our clients, including successful business owners, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. Our commitment is to helping you improve your financial position, reach your financial goals, and safeguard your family and business. Our goal is to provide you with the resources and guidance necessary to accomplish these objectives. Our process utilizes a thorough and exclusive financial analysis, efficient implementation of recommendations, and continual reevaluation of fluctuating dynamics. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS Racing Series in the Coke Zero Sugar 200 here at Daytona. Tyler Sexton is your leader here on lap 41. He's got Richard Mills and Ron Fitting behind him. Scott Thomas and Alex Forget-Berube round out your top five. Now, if you're wondering, hey, what happened to Jordan Booth? He was leading earlier. Jordan's now sitting in 17th spot. He's caught in that second pack that's back there. And we've still got one driver who is one lap down, who took an opportunity to come down maybe a little early without a partner. That was on lap 28. That was Jacob Busso. He's back one lap down, so he's hoping for a caution.
yeah, we thought that was going to be kind of an issue, but it obviously did not work out in his favor. So I'm not really sure if there was a connection issue or what was happening. But he is the only car lap down. But if another caution comes out, he will be the lucky dog.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'd be surprised, but you never know. We have gone green, and this is the track to do it in, especially here.
Yep, a flag-to-flag race is always a good race.
So 35 of Tyler Sexton has given up that leadership position. Oh, a little bit of, it was close. There's a little bit of almost contact, I thought, between the 5 and the 35. But
they're all teammates.
Yeah.
So they're all teammates up there doing their thing. Now it's the 5-3 and the 35 instead of the 35 and the 5.
If they're brother-in-law on it, so they'll swap the lead, allow everybody to get to lead a lap, and every point counts here at the end.
Yes, it does. Now the car of the 3, Ron Fitting, has not led a lap yet, so I'm just waiting for that to happen, because when that happens, the grandstand's going to go crazy. But right now, Richard Mills leads Ron Fitting, Tyler Sexton, Alex Forget-Berube, Scott Thomas, Martin Pinot, Ty Bostic, Martin Giroux, Corey Ennis, and Simon Madgen, your top 10.
I'd say let's look back through the field to see what else is happening. That everybody's in single file, so not a whole lot going on. Right now we're just nose to tail as we work our way around the track.
Yep. Diddly squat. That is what's happening. But one thing that I have noticed, Jordan Wenzel, +5. He's starting to slowly creep his way back up there. So watch out for that driver to make his way.
Yep, he's got the 96 of Mike Wheel behind him, and Michael Whitley, who was right up there early on the front row. Jordan Booth making some moves. He's got the 6 of Dan Hughes in front of him with the 99 of Tyler Lem behind. They're trying to work their way back up to catch that lead pack. There is definitely a gap of about, is it 3 seconds, I think? So.
Yeah, just a little over 3 seconds. And that backpack is slowly catching the leaders. So my estimates is they'll be there probably within the next 5 or 6 laps if they keep on this pace. So we'll see how it goes. So far, they're trying to keep nose to tail, but so are the leaders. So,
yep, they just got to stay organized. That's just how it works here. You got to build that draft with your partners. Stay aligned as best you can. I think if they were to possibly move up to the high line, they would, or at least the mid to high line, they actually would catch them a little faster.
yep, you'd carry a lot more momentum down the back stretch. It's kind of crazy. You're like, well, that's not the quickest way around because it's not the shortest way around. Well, in super speedway pack racing, just because the shortest way around the track is preferred, that doesn't mean it is the fastest way around the track. So we'll see. The gap now is closed to about 4.35 seconds, so I expect them to catch them somewhere a lap 4 or 52 would be my estimate. Last time by, the leaders ran a 40 flat. That time by, everybody in that second pack except for one car ran their fastest lap of the race.
Wow. So now
40,
with they pitted on last lap will be 28. I don't think they'll try to stretch it out like they did next time. So if we assume 22, that puts us right around lap 60. I'm sorry, lap 50.
I might challenge that a little bit because of the fact I'm noticing these times just slowed down quite a bit. 47.7.
Yeah.
If you do the math, you could technically make this in a 2-stop race. Or 3-stop. Two stop. Yeah, technically 2-stop. Because if you could, well, no, I guess it would be 3, but we do have caution laps that helped with that.
Yep.
So if they can go to lap 55, which is pushing it, they could go another 25 laps. But let me tell you, the pace has slowed down in this front pack for sure. That's why you're seeing the 19 fast leaders going full throttle.
The back pack has caught them. They're no longer, there's no gap. That gap is gone.
So the leader last time by ran a 48.6. They are saving. And this is when it can get a little hairy because you have some drivers who are like, what are we doing? And some other drivers are like, I'm going to save to try to make this on one more stop.
And just to put it in relevance, that the pack that we're just talking about, led by the 6 of Dan Hughes, his last time by was a full 2 2/10 faster than the leaders. We're at 47.31.
Now, let me tell you, the pace has picked up significantly this lap. I'm watching these times. It'll probably be somewhere in the mid-47 flats. Maybe a little low 47. Oh, no, still 48.6. 48.6 for the leaders.
But now everybody, since they've all caught up, they're all in the 48s. But good work. Good work on that group with the 6 and the 41.
Yeah, it definitely helps when the cars in front of you are saving, for sure. Makes your life a little bit less difficult.
So that's a group. We'll just jump back real quick here. This is, they got the 12 of Eric Jeffers. He's got the 77 of Corey Bunch, the 6 of Dan Hughes, and Jordan Booth. All those guys together, if you're going to challenge for the lead, I'd like those guys around me and who would be willing to jump up and potentially take a risk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we just crossed the line at lap 52.
Technically 24 laps after the pit stop. Now, give or take about 2 laps there.
John, I think you're right. I think they're trying to figure out how to make this work with just one more stop.
Yeah, I think they really are. Looking at the lap times, they slowed down another second. I mean, they are trying to make this a 2-stop race.
Let's pop into the, really the leader is what's setting this pace. Let's take a look at Richard Mills.
Oh yeah, he's nowhere close to full throttle. Last time by, 49 flat, just a couple tenths faster, but still nowhere near full throttle right now. Do we have availability to see the throttle tracing at all?
I don't believe we do. We just have the dash. I know we can bring up. Oh, that's it. He's done. They're going in.
Yep, pit stops.
Just for 3. The leader, those you saw up front, Richard Mills, 35 of Tyler Sexton, and Ron Fitting in the 3. Their teammates, they are in on pit road.
I mean, they're technically going to have to go 27 laps.
That's going to be
technically.
Tough.
That's going to be tough because they have to complete lap 54, add 6. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. We'll see if the rest of the leaders come down this time by. And right now, these leaders are still running that same pace. Who is going to break way this time? Nobody. Nobody at all. So, got to pay attention to those 3 cars that did come out of pit road. Looks like they are separated by just about 1.5 seconds, so they need to get nose to tail as quickly as possible, or they are going to lose major time.
Yep. Well, they've broken apart a little bit here. They've got to tap the brakes a little bit to allow the 3 to catch back up because he is going to be in big trouble by himself.
Oh, I think they're leaving him in the dust. I'm watching the gap. The gap is.
Wait, he's going back in. Is there a penalty?
Penalty. Black flag for Ron Fitting. Oh no.
Yeah.
A black flag for the black number 3. And here comes the 79 now pit road. Scott Thomas, and the 6.
Still watching the 19 of Alex Forget-Ruby. That's 25 laps to go. That is well within striking distance. My guess is that we're going to see a good bit on pit road this time by.
I just got word that the 19 will be coming down pit road, and I'm seeing everybody key up. Rick, pit road might be a little bit busy this time by.
We'll be watching.
Let's just hope they all can slow down in enough time. Here they come. Almost a whole front pack. That 19's coming in really hot, though, and so is everybody else. No penalties so far. No penalties so far.
They kept it together. Holy cow.
I don't see any penalties. Nothing yet. All
22,
good on my end.
The
20.
20 overshot
Yes.
his pit. Yep.
It slid through.
Ty
All right,
Gibbs.
first one out of.
Ty Gibbs. That's the third time I've done that? Jeez.
Did it again.
Ty Bostic. He got his fuel in much quicker. If you look back at what we saw with pit stops for Fitting, for Jacob, for Ron Fitting, and then for the 6, those were much longer stops. Here comes the rest of the field.
Well, the rest of the field is on pit road, led by the 17. No, that's not Chris Busher. That is the 17 of Austin Walton, and Eric Jeffers there. Looking for penalties. I don't see any. Be very impressive.
Our eyes are on the 81 and the 77 of Corey Bunch.
And they are off. Good stop for the 77. Not a great stop for the 17.
Much longer.
And they are out of pit road, and here comes the two leaders, Richard Mills, Tyler Sexton. We'll see if they're able to, can they leapfrog the leaders? Oh boy. Look at that. Well, they had the right strategy call.
Absolutely.
Out front. Now, the issue is they have 3 to 4 laps.
Why did they do that?
Now, that was not what I think they should have done. Oh, I think they just wanted to switch.
Yep, just swapping positions.
I guess if you're going to do it now, might as well do it without a big pack behind you, because they got about 5 cars. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Might as well.
So that was the last stop of the night. We've got 23 laps to go. Your leader, Tyler Sexton, with Richard Mills behind Alex Berger-Berube, Ty Bostic, and Jordan Booth find themselves at the front of this pack. Don't cut out the 99 of Tyler Lem. He's in this pack of 6. This field is spread out. You can see that a bit on that track map. We'll bring up our timing tower so you can see your favorite driver.
$22 to go. Now going to be 21 to go when we hit the line. And first through 23rd, separated by 5 seconds. Rick, let me tell you something. Here in about 7 laps, I can guarantee you this whole pack will be nose to tail. It'll be chaos with about 10 to go. Now, we see some cars move to the high line. So could we get to 12 in the 77. Eric Jeffers in the 77 of Corey Bunch now. Trying to get behind. They bailed.
Yeah, I don't get it.
3 wide. Here's the action.
They trapped the 19 on the outside. He is cycling back. The 12 and the 77 making a charge to the front.
Oh, I see some pushing happening. Got to hold on to it. And your new leader at the 12, Eric Jeffers, rocking that Ryan Blaney paint scheme. And down to the inside line is Michael Whitley trying to make the move.
20 laps to go here at Daytona.
And if you're going to go get a nice cold beverage, maybe some popcorn, I'd go right now, because this action is only going to get even hotter. Take your last bathroom break. Do everything right now. You got 20 to go.
Take care of the dog, kiss the wife, get back here, and stay tuned for the last 20 laps here at Daytona.
So, Rick, I said about 7 laps. We'll scratch that. They are all now 1.7 seconds between first to 22nd right now.
27 cars still remain on the lead lap. Just 2 that are 1 lap down. That is Jacob Musso and Ron Fitting. And really, they're down where they are for no other reason that it was timing. It was a simple decision or a simple mistake that causes you to cycle back. The 3 just not keeping up with or being unable to keep up with his teammates there and cycling back off that run of pit stops, and the 25 of Jacob Musso, they picking the wrong time to come in.
Yeah, I really don't know what happened, because he pit on lap 5. I'm still baffled by it. I'm still just confused.
So it looks like that outside line is beginning to form up solidly. Opportunity there to make a push.
Oh, they're coming, Rick. They, I think, may take the lead by the time we get into turn 1. We'll see.
The 81 almost lost it. There is a change between the apron of the track. You see that double yellow line. If your tires slip beneath there, especially in one of the corners, you will wind up being very unstable. And the 81 just did that and survived to fight another day.
All right. With that being said, the 43 and the 15 were locked bumpers for a second. Here they are, locked bumpers again on that outside line. They are pushing. As we see the 3 trying to get somewhat out of the way. Here we go. We will have 3 wide here at Daytona. Oh, hold on, folks. Oh, boy.
3 stayed up high out of the way.
And at the line, you might have a new leader. You will have a new leader. It's the 43 of Garrett Walden out front.
16 laps to go.
Drops down to the inside line now, trying to block the run of the 12 and the 77 of Jeffers and Corey Bunch. Now Clark Franz is in the catbird seat up there on the high line. He's getting a shove from, I believe, the 17 of Austin Walton.
Good push by there. The 43's got a good pusher right there in the 12 of Eric Jeffers.
Got to be careful to not hook the guy in front of you, though.
Yep.
15 to go at the line. Action heating up. Don't miss a thing.
If you're gonna get out of that low line, or you have any opportunity or vision for yourself to get up to the front, you've got to make a decision.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be planned now. You know, one driver I've been wanting to watch is the 81 of Jordan Winsel. There, he's been methodically making his way through the pack. So we'll see how his race unfolds. If he sees a break in that outside line where he could be the first car, he'll take it. I mean, it's going to be his race right there. Now, he's 1 car away from the outside line.
Corey Bunch has now found himself in 3rd. Scott Thomas leads that outside line at the moment. That could change. If I am someone with aspirations for the front, I would use that Highline freight train and move myself up and jump in front, and you may not have a chance. There's some side drafting happening with the 77 on the 79. 79 survives it. He's got a good push by the 10 of Broadbeck.
And we are getting to the point where we are closing in. This pack is getting tighter. 1.71 seconds separates first and 21st. I'll kind of give you an update as this race progresses and see if that tightens, but 1.7 was the gap. That time, we see a move up to the top line of Scott Thomas trying to block the run of the 10 of Vernon Broadbeck there.
That's a double-edged sword. If you're blocking the guy that's pushing you, you could easily find yourself moved out of position.
Moving out of position, spun around, flipping upside down.
All of the above. But the 79 decides, you know what, I am out, and he drops down and takes the 10 with him, and they take over the lead.
And let me tell you, that 81 moved up to the high line. He was tired of the low line. He is now making his way up 16 spots.
And you find the 41 of Jordan Booth has also said, I got to get out of 12th, and now finds himself on the high line in 8th.
It's like a big game of chess. You know, you're trying to figure out where to go, who to move, who not to move, who to go with.
But I think the biggest thing is here, if you just stay passive, you will never be successful here.
Oh, no, you got to be aggressive. You got to be aggressive, and we're about to see these moves get even more aggressive right now. A car that looks like will stay in the low line, that's going to be dangerous. We've seen this cause issues before. The outside line has to give some room. Oh, boy.
You don't have to give up that position, but often you do just to avoid the wrecks.
Well, now that lap car is going to be sandwiched in the middle here. The 29, I believe. Oh, he falls back. All right. Rick, we're coming to 10 to go. You got the 50 of Martin Giroux leading the way here at Daytona. The 10 to the inside. Alex Murphy, Scott Thomas, all battling up there. 10 to go at the line. Who's going to do it?
Any one of those guys up front, a number of these guys have not won a race, and they're now putting themselves in position.
Now, I'm going to make one statement here. The 25 is at the back of this pack. He's not really helping. Now, the 3 is in the bottom lane, about 8 cars back. He is not for position, but could he help his teammates? You never know what you'll see here. They are now nose to tail, the Grease Monkey Motorsport teammates. So we'll see how that works. As had a checkup on the bottom line, now coming to 9 laps to go.
They're about to run up on the 96 of Mike Wheel, who is by himself, I believe.
Yep, he is.
And he's got a double-wide freight train about to hop up in his rearview mirror.
He will here probably, I would guess, at the start-finish line. You'll start to see that pack start to pass him.
81 is now leading the low line, and the 41 of Jordan Booth finds himself out in third.
It was a matter of time, Rick. It's a matter of time before we see this 81 going to the front. Jordan freaking Wenzel.
We've seen
Who else?
The number 10, Vernon Broadback, in that pusher position. He's right there behind the 81. Scott Thomas, great showing by the 79. We've seen him up front calling his number for the latter half of this race.
Yep, absolutely. And these leaders are going to have a handful because they are going to pass Mike Wheel now into turn 1, probably through the middle of 1 and 2. Here we go. He is staying up high. All good so far.
Here's where it gets a little sketchy on that backstretch, but
let's see if he drops in or if he just stays the outside. A little bit of a side draft kind of holding him up and that car in the outside line.
Just 8 laps to go.
Still 3 wide. That middle car is being held back just a little bit. He's trying to make himself and break free. It looks like he might be able to this time. He does.
41 finds himself leading the low line. And we've got more shuffling going on throughout this field.
That was a 17 moving up from the inside to the outside. That's Austin Walton now. Big push. Jordan and Jordan show. Rick, we said it was going to be the Jordan and Corey show, but no, it's Jordan and Jordan up front.
Yep, 1 and 2. Booth and Wenzel.
Your top 3 in points, Jordan Booth, Jordan Wenzel, right there. As we are now approaching 6 laps to go, and you're starting to see something interesting happen. You're starting to see these cars fall back a little bit. Oh, hold on to her. Oh boy, we almost had a big incident there, I believe, with the 50 of Martin Giroux and the 30 of Alex Murphy. Could have been pretty treacherous. But what I'm noticing, Rick, though, you see these front 4 start to pull away. Well, keep in mind, they still have to save a little gas.
Yeah.
They have to save a little bit of gas. Well, not a lot, but a little bit.
The whole pack has caught back up to them, and now they're going to have to be blocking with 6 laps to go. That's a lot of blocking.
A lot of blocking, a lot of saving, and let me tell you, I would not want to be the leader right now. I would not want to be Jordan Booth. Here's why. There's too many variables. You have the 81 behind you. You have the 10 of Vernon Broadbeck. You have an outside line who's going to push. You're using the most gas out of anybody. I would not want to be the leader. You know where I would actually want to be right now? I'd actually want to be the 79 car. I'd want to be Scott Thomas because you can see what's going on the inside line. You can give that outside push a run, and you'll know what's going on. And if you need to make a move to go 3 wide, you can.
He's got the and
So
you've got the 99 Tyler Lem right in front of you. That's a good car to be tailing, but I want to be tucked up under his bumper. He's got a little bit, nearly a full car and a half length between them. That's too much.
Yeah, it's way too much. I like the outside line, and if they can get a couple more cars, you know, just a little bit closer together, they will run it down. 4 laps to go at the line. Here comes the move. Vernon Broadbeck to the outside line, followed by Eric Jeffers. A little
Definitely
too early.
a little bit of contact. And
Blocking. Big block.
41 slides up all the way, stalling that outside line, taking it over. Want to take advantage of the run that they had and almost wrecked the field.
Yeah, that would have been a bad block if that would have wrecked. But it was a good block.
Don't lose sight of that 81 and the 77 paired up on that low line.
Yeah, your championship 3 are now almost 1, 2, and 3. I bet the 41's going to try to block the inside line once that run comes. Here comes, I believe that is the 29 again.
Yep,
on the inside line. This is going to be even more treacherous, Rick. We have 3 wide action through the back of this pack.
He is staying on the low line, forcing the low line up to the middle.
You have a lot of trust with this pack.
That has completely shaken up. Now the 12 has dropped down.
And you're about to see some big runs here with 3 to go. That 79, I'm telling you, I want to be where the 79 is. I'm following this car. I think he has a great spot. Big block. 12 drops up to the top. Oh, and so does the 81.
6 is on pit road. Dan Hughes on pit road.
Oh, we got 3 wide.
Oh, contact.
Banging. The 30 was there. We're wrecking. Wait, no, we're not. We're still forward.
We're wrecking. 96 spins around. We are under caution with 3 laps to go here at Daytona.
The 94 just came down. I watched that one live.
That's the 35 of Tyler Sexton in the grass. You said the 96 came down?
The 94, I believe. I think it was Whitley.
Michael Whitley?
Yeah, I don't really know why. He was up against the wall, and it looked like he just came down and clipped.
Let's back that up.
Yeah, so it all really started with the 35. It wasn't the 35. It was the 30. Had position on the 35.
So, yeah, there's that contact we were talking about earlier in front of the 5.
There.
Yeah.
He's there.
And the 30 saying, well, you need to make room for me. I'm coming up. And you don't have to. And that unfortunately, he is now riding that at the apron line. That is not a good place to be. There's a little bit of contact right there, unsettles him, and that's what starts the collision. He comes up and takes out the 15. The 94 gets involved. 43 gets a little bit of damage. The 19 hits the 43 in the tail. 96, unfortunately, is a victim of circumstance. The 22 escapes. He makes it through. Don't know how, but the 94, unfortunately, there's a lot of open area there. He's not going to incur much damage, but not that he already hadn't. His nose is pretty tore up.
And maybe the toe link was broken. I thought he could have kept it along the outside of the wall,
no. You can see it there. He's dragging. The frame is on the ground. That toe link is busted. He's gone.
Yeah, well, that explains why a car couldn't turn. I couldn't keep it straight. Yeah, I was like, when? He could have stayed up against the wall. I mean, because if he didn't collect that car, we possibly could have stayed green.
Well, here's the problem. I think a lot of guys, if it stayed green, they would be fine. But now they're going to be under caution. They're out of fuel. And you've got a number of drivers who are now on pit road. Jeffers, Thomas, Giroux, they're all getting a splash and go. But who stayed out? Jordan Wenzel, Jordan Booth, Tyler Lem, Garrett Walden, and Tony Japs, Martin Pinnell. Those guys all stayed out.
Well, we're seeing some more guys make their way down pit road, so it was going to be tight on fuel.
Yep.
Still is tight on fuel.
On
but we were going to have
with,
a
Jordan
green,
Booth.
white checkered. Yeah, yep. He's got to be clutched in or... Saving some fuel for sure. Folks, definitely don't want to turn away now. This is about to get wild. 3 laps to go. Anybody's race. Literally anybody's race.
In running order, Jordan Wenzel, Jordan Booth, Tyler Lem, Garrett Walden, Tony Japs, Martin Pinnell, Vernon Broadbeck, Eric Jeffers, Corey Bunch, and Martin Giroux. That's your top 10. Your leader, my guess, will be one of those drivers and one of those winners.
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Athletic Training Solutions specializes in on-site health and wellness programs for industrial athletes. We focus on the treatment and management of work-related injury and illness, as well as employee health and wellness. As one of the leading providers of occupational health services, we serve businesses of all sizes and types. Our experienced, certified athletic trainers work with each client organization to minimize employee disability, promote employee health and wellness, and help to control healthcare costs. We work with a network of doctors that are trained with an understanding of OSHA recordables and the first aid treatment approach to help keep your employees at work.
You'll love the exceptional service you get at Lindsay's Carpet and Paint, and our selection will truly wow you. Transform your home with hardwoods and laminates in every color, finish, and style you can imagine. When it comes to carpet selection, no one comes close to the variety we offer. And don't forget the walls. Liven them up with quality Benjamin Moore and Pittsburgh paint.
Professional staff and great selection at Lindsay's Carpet and Paint.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS series. Tonight we are at the famed Daytona International Speedway for the Coke Zero Sugar 200. This will be a green-white checker finish. We've been green pretty much for the entire race except for our stage break, but here we are. Jordan Wenzel is the control car. He has opted for the high line. Jordan Booth down below. It is the Jordan and Jordan show.
It is the Jordan and Jordan show. Now, will it be the Jordan and Jordan finish is the question. Well, Rick, here we go. Pace cars drop down. We are in iNRS overtime. And green flag is in the air. Looks like we had a big stack up the high line. The 20 was not ready. And we got shuffling all the way through this field. And we got 3 wide also. The 12 split in the middle trying to make his way through. Followed by the 50. And now this is when the runs start to come. Here they go out of turn 2. The 81 out front. And then the bottom line led by the 41. Oh, we got some 3 wide forming in the back too. Rick, the 50 and the 46 now splitting the 12 of Eric Jeffers. Ty Bostic now trying to make his way up through the top of the pack. Rick at the line. This will be final. If there's no caution, no, he held on to it. He saved it. Oh my goodness. Jordan Wenzel saved the.
Oh
no!
Oh no! He's coming. Cautions. No, no caution.
Now we're wrecking. Now
we're wrecking. Big time.
Maybe.
Oh,
no,
big.
Yeah,
we're wrecking big. There's lots of cars involved. We're staying with the leaders. 43 is getting the big push from the 10. How long does he stay? His buddy Vernon Broadbeck's been the bridesmaid often tonight, being
Jordan
the pusher.
Booth. But watch Jordan Booth. If Jordan Booth is going to get a run, this is the pass. This is the pass. Jordan, here we go into turn 3. The 10 blocks it.
Oh, 41 takes it.
Oh, he bumps him. Jordan Booth can still win this race. Here we go. He has the run. Is the 43 going to block? No, the 43 does not block. Garrett Walden wins at Daytona.
Garrett Walden is Jordan Booth's teammate.
He just got his teammate into the playoffs.
Maybe he's not his teammate. Maybe he's kind of like an associate. Let's go with that.
An alliance.
An alliance. Yeah, there we go.
What
All right.
a crazy finish to the end of the Coke Zero Sugar 200.
We stayed green through a lot of wrecking. Dan Hughes, Vince Burns, Corey Bunch, Eric Jeffers. Let's go back to what happened with Corey Bunch. Let's see what... Let's back that up just a little bit. These are names we've seen all race long battling. Almost 4 wide there in placing. That's the 12 in front of Jeffers, 81. The 50 contacts the wall. The 90, the 46 of Magin tries to make it through with a 55. That's a no-go. 50 comes down into Bunch, collects the 5 of Mills, and they are off.
They're all crazy. Just craziness.
Yeah. That's what we expect out of Daytona, to be honest.
Oh, it is by far. Garrett Walden, your winner. The 41 had the opportunity to pass him, but he didn't.
All right, I think we've got results.
Let's do it. Let's bring it up. Your winner of tonight's Coke Zero Sugar 200, presented by the iNASCAR Racing Series, brought to you by the IWM Broadcast Network, is Garrett Walden with Jordan Booth and Jordan Wenzel. Second, third. Stay tuned because we're going to interview all 3 of those drivers. Art Pinnell finishes in 4th with Vernon Broadbeck finishing 5th. Eddie Musso finishes 6th. Ty Bostic, Austin Walton, Clark Franz, and Jacob Musso round out your top 10.
Correanis finishes in 11th, Alex Murphy in 12th, Tony Japs in 13th, Richard Mills in 14th, Scott Thomas in 15th, Martin Giroux in 16th, Alex Forget-Berube in 17th, Corey Bunch in 18th, Simon Magin in 19th, and Eric Jeffers in 20th.
In 21st, Tyler Lim. 22nd, Vince Burns. 23rd, Mike Wheel. 24th, Joe Musso. 25th, Dan Hughes. 26th, Ron Fitting. 27th, John Krupa. 28th, Michael Whitley Jr. And 29th, Tyler Sexton.
All right, that is the results for tonight's Coke Zero Sugar 200 here at Daytona. Let's go to the to our waiting room, and yep, we've got our top 3. Let's grab Mr. Wenzel and bring him into the booth. Jordan Wenzel, congratulations! What a wild finish here at Daytona.
I agree. I think I was turning right more than I was turning left in that last lap.
Absolutely. Yeah, we expected it. Whenever you have a green-white checker here at the end, things get a little hairy. Take us back a little bit through how you survived and thrived to get up to P3.
I mean, the first, 40, 50 laps of the race were miserable because it was all fuel save. And then I missed my pit box before the stage, so I was screwed up there. And eventually, after that last pit stop, the guys that I pit with realized that we could just go full bore and still make it to the end. And we went that way. We got up to the front, and then caution comes out, and I'm like, we got to stay out. If you go back, you're losing track position, and you're just going to be in the hornet's nest. And apparently, outside row top was still the hornet's nest, so it is what it is.
Yep. Yeah, we were in the booth trying to play the fuel mileage guessing game, and we blew it this track absolutely. We had no idea how y'all were saving to try and make it to the stage break without a pit stop. Yeah,
it was. I blew it because I tried to push Eric up to the front during that, and it's just terrible. It just felt terrible doing that fuel save because you're running around there at less than qualifying speed, and you're just like, this is terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, here we are, P3, good finish.
Yeah,
certainly,
I needed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations on your P3 finish. Any shout outs tonight?
Shout out to my mom because she said that I had to go and win this race, and I let her down. So P3 is still good enough, hopefully.
Yep. Well, you'll face the music on that one. So, all right. Congratulations on your finish.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Booth joins us in the booth. Congratulations. We thought you had him. We thought you had it.
That was the goal whole time. Get Garrett in the playoffs. And it did happen. How it happened, I don't know, but we are ecstatic for Garrett.
Well, we knew that he was whether you have an alliance or what the plan was with Garrett, but we could tell that it certainly seems to be in the game plan.
Yeah, I mean the whole plan, I guess, from me and my group was either we're pushing Garrett to the win or we're pushing Mike Wheel to the win. And Mike had some trouble on the green flag pit stops, which kind of took him out of it. And I thought personally Garrett was out of it. I thought it was going to be between me and Wenzel towards the end there and see, who won, who did what. But caution came out, which kind of saved Garrett. And then it was just, okay, how do we get Garrett to the front without costing us too much track position? But no, it worked out. I won the stage, which is all I wanted to do, and then Garrett won the race. So we are over the moon with joy right now.
Well, congratulations on your finish. Any shout-outs tonight?
Yeah, to Garrett, obviously. I mean, at the end of the day, you still gotta have talent to win.
Well, let's go ahead and bring him in. He can hear that directly from you.
Yeah.
We welcome Garrett Walden to the booth. Congratulations on your win. We're just talking to Jordan Booth about how excited he was for you to get this victory.
Yeah, no, congrats to Garrett. That was amazing. Exactly what we wanted to happen all week, and for it to happen, it takes talent from a lot of people. So congrats to you, Garrett.
You guys, I'm so excited right now. Like we didn't know. We got the late caution. Pit strategies coming in. I'm looking at my fuel, and I'm like, God, it's almost empty. And it was just, a perfect kind of storm kind of happened that I was able to push through it. And, I mean, thanks to Booth, Wenzel, too. I know he wrecked, but, I mean, he helped the whole race. Like, I'm so excited, man. You don't understand.
Well, congratulations. While all three are here in the booth, we thought for a long time the unsung hero for a lot of guys was Vernon Broadbeck. He should be out there in the 10 giving some really good pushes.
Yeah, he stuck behind me there in that last restart, really good. And I pushed him like early in the race, and he also pushed me. Like he was probably one of the best pushers in the field. I would wholeheartedly agree because he could work with just about anybody.
Yep, absolutely. But listen, it's all about you. Congratulations on your win and really punching your ticket into the playoffs with just one more race to go.
I was panicking because I had missed part of the season because of IRL things, and I knew I had to win, and this was my best chance. So I mean, thanks to everybody that helped me. Like I'm super excited for the rest of the season now.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. Any shout out tonight, Garrett?
I mean, you got the two here that were in the booth with us, and then Mike Wheel. He kind of got caught up in the pit cycles of things, but he was with me in booth all night long, running with us, and big shout out to him, and a big shout out to a lot of the FTM guys that Eric, Corey, Michael, we all of us worked together like as a team, and it was just super fun to run with them. I know a lot of them wrecked, but shout out to them as well, because I mean that I've been with them all year, and without them, I don't know where I'd be.
There you go. John, any comments?
I just want to say what an amazing finish, Jordan Booth. I didn't know what you were going to do. I was talking about the pass, the quote-unquote pass happening going into turn 3. I thought you were going to set up Garrett, but then when I saw you give him that big push, I was like, nope, I feel like he's going to push him to the win. So great team effort. Love to see that. And just congratulations, Garrett. You're now locked in. How does it feel?
I am so excited. Like, I knew that early on in the year that I could probably get in on points. I didn't know about wins, but some stuff happened, like I said, and getting this win it makes it just even sweeter at a place that I'm not even particularly good at. So I think that just makes it better.
Good deal. All right, congratulations, guys, on your podium finishes. We look forward to seeing you next week in Darlington. John, let's just say a couple of words. John's getting married, and he will not be with us for the next 5 weeks. We will continue on in your absence with some pinch hitters that will try to fill your shoes. But congratulations on your marriage, and enjoy your honeymoon.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna miss the booth. I may tune in for a couple races if I'm awake at 3:00 in the morning. I guess 7 hours from now would be like 4 or 5. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's a great thing. We are both newly wedded here in the IWM broadcast booth. So weddings all around. Weddings for you and you and you. I'm like Oprah, basically. But it's going to be fun. Excited to see how the season unfolds. But I believe the first race I'll be back will be probably the first full week of October, which sounds like a long time from now, because it is. So gonna miss it, but can't wait to see how the season folds out during my absence.
All right. Well, look forward to having you back in the booth. All right. Congratulations to Garrett Walden on his victory, getting himself locked into the playoffs, and we look forward to being right here next Thursday for the final race of the regular season. We will be at Darlington. So, for Rick, myself, for John, and for the IWM Broadcast Network, thank you for tuning in, and good night.
Good night, folks.